Hello everyone, Unit 1 of the grade 11th. So, Unit 1 of the grade 11th for accountancy is all about the theoretical framework. So, the name itself is talking to us that it is only a theory based. First chapter of the accounting is only theory. See, here you have come to the 11th grade for accountancy, and I know that and I hope that it's a very basic things which we learn here in the 11th accountancy, because this is the first time you are learning about what is accountancy, what are the things we need. Okay, so what are the basic concepts, what are the basic things is all about here in the unit 1 or the chapter 1. Chapter 1 or unit 1 is a very small, as I said, it's only theoretical based, there is no numericals nor anything. Okay, but we will go with one by one. There is something called as concepts. Okay, there are many concepts of the accounting. There are few books, that is cash book, purchase book, sales books, purchase returns books, sales returns books, and few of the things like what is fixed asset, what is current asset, what is fixed liability, what is current liability, what is contingent liability, what are the things, are the different financial statements we have. All these things is what we have to study here. And one more small topic which has been added, that's a new addition actually after 2016 onwards, this topic was being initiated, that is GST, that is goods and service tax. That is only a very small topic to know what is GST and what are the percentages we have for GST in India. Okay, you know that GST is an indirect tax. Okay, so that we will come later. So we will start with the unit 1 for your grade 11th accountancy with the first chapter called as theoretical framework. Okay, so here I said that we will be looking to few of the topics. Okay, the first topic here, we should know what do you mean by accounting standards. Okay, what do you mean by accounting standards? I'm just telling you what are the things we have in this chapter. Next is, what do you mean by assets and liabilities? Okay, next is, if you are knowing what is assets and liabilities, then definitely we should also know what is balance sheet also. I will tell you what is balance sheet. Okay, next is income and expenditure account, or also we will say profit and loss account. Please remember, these two are not same. Income and expenditure account, profit and loss account are not same. It's a different statement, but still I have given here, there is a reason for why I have given here. Okay, I will tell you why I have given here. Okay, next is, the most important thing here is, that is accounting concepts. There are around 7 to 8 concepts. This is very important. This is a foundation for accounting. Even if you have to do your 11th grade accounting, maybe from second chapter, you have numerical problems, okay, not in the first chapter, and later in your 12th grade or any of the course of future action. So, you need to know the concepts. Okay, so without the concepts, we cannot go ahead. So, concepts is also very important. Concept, I will be showing it to you in the PPT, that is slide share. Okay, so accounting concepts. Then comes, then few things which are called as books, books of companies. What is this books of companies? We have already said balance sheet, profit and loss account, and income and expenditure statement. Guys, these are all the financial statements. Financial statements are different, books are different. Okay, we maintain book, we means the business maintains book. There are different kinds of book. There are cash book, there are petty cash book, there are purchase book, sales book, purchase returns books, sales returns books, bank book, all these things we follow. After that, the same entries will be put under the income, expenditure, profit and loss and balance sheet. So that is different. Okay, I will come one by one. I am just telling you these are the contents which we have. And last but not the least, as I said, the small topic from 2016 onwards they have added, that is GST. So very small topic. What do you mean by GST? What are the different percentages we have in GST? And why we have to learn about GST, before GST what we had, all these things is coming under here. So this is the chapter framework. Understood? This unit 1 is all about these things what we learn. So shall we go one by one? Yes, let's go with that. So now let's understand what do you mean by accounting standards. See guys, there are a few things which you have to know, that is for any product before we manufacture in any country for that matter, you have something called as standards which has been already fixed by the government or the framework of the government, which they have made. Okay, this product has to be in this standards, another product has to be in this standard. So likewise, even accounting also we have standards. Okay, now actually 11th accounting standards is running, but it is not that it is the end. There are 17 accounting standards also which is running under. See everything, see how we have in a legal perspective, like we have the laws, okay, the amendments, the sections, the subsections, all these things. No, the same wise even this subject also has. If I am going with any of the particular topic, that it can be anything what I said, accounting concepts or balance sheet or whatever, everything has its own standards. So standards are very important here, which accounting standards. So the standards will tell you how to deal with the financial statements and with the books. For example, just to go little beyond the things, I think you all know about the CA and ACCA, the course which we have, right? CA is Chartered Accountant and ACCA is the Articleship of Chartered and Centralized Association. So here, these are the two different courses which we have in your commerce. When you have to go, if you're looking for a greater career, then CA and ACCA is the maximum what we have. We have CMA, we have CS, we have ICW. That is different. But I'm just giving just a difference here. CA has a different standards and ACCA has a different standards. So what does this mean? Chartered Accountant or CA course is specialized course in India. In the entire world, the CA, what we have, what we learn or what we get the course in India is having a different standards rather compared to the ACCA, because ACCA is globally accepted. So you might be having a question, why not CA is globally accepted? No, because CA has the rules and regulations and standards only limited to India and not to the global. So as I said, CA is most accepted and most widely used in India only, but ACCA is a globally accepted. So what do you mean here is, they talk about the global standards, but CA talks about the Indian standards. So this is how the standards is been made. And when you go in your further studies or in your further topics, maybe in 11th grade and even in 12th grade also next year. So there you will be learning each and everything, that is where which standard will apply. Okay, so like that. Now coming to the next one, that is what do you mean by assets and liabilities. Now I'll first talk about assets. Okay, see, assets are, there are two things here, that is in the assets itself, that is fixed asset and current assets. Two different things. Sometimes in some textbooks they might confuse you stating that non-current asset. Non-current asset is nothing but again fixed assets only. So fixed assets and current assets. So what are this? First of all, I think you must be knowing what are assets. Assets are the physical or maybe sometimes the non-physical items or the things which a company has, where they can liquidate at any given point of time. Assets, okay? It's a equity oriented, alright? So now, what is fixed assets and what is current assets now? Fixed assets are, like for example, I'll give 2-3 examples, you will understand. Plant and machinery, land and building, furnitures and fixtures, There are many. There are many things. Even tangible, intangible is also there. Intangible is like copyright, patent, goodwill, all these things. Okay. So current assets are the assets which is running over. See, there are two things. One is capital and other one is working capital. So as I said, there are two different things. There is capital and working capital. Okay. So capital, as I said, capital is a money or an amount which is being invested at the first time. That is initial of the business. When you want to start an organization or a company or a plant, whatever you invest, no, that will be the initial investment. Is called as capital. Working capital. Working capital, we also call it as operating capital. Means every day for your business, you need money to run the plant, to run the factory, to run the industry. Every day you need. So those are called as working capital or operating capital. So on this basis, I am telling you that key current assets are those which is connected to the working capital, whatever which happens like bills receivable or BR, then it is can be some interest received, dividends received, all these things will come under the current asset. But where rent received, okay, all these things will come under the current asset. But whereas the fixed asset is fixed, the name itself is telling you it is fixed, fixed for a period of time or a fixed for a period of duration, whatever it is. So those are plant and machinery, land and building and furnitures and fixtures. So these are assets. Now, going to the next one, that is liabilities. So what do you mean by liabilities? The opposite of assets. The opposite of assets. So what are liabilities? So here also you have three things. One is fixed liability, current liability, and one more thing we have which we don't have in asset, that is contingent liability. Contingent liability. So what is fixed liability? The same thing like asset. So whatever has been fixed, like example capital, loan, borrowings, and all these things will come under the fixed liability. Current liability is bills payable, rent paid or rent to be paid, interest to be paid. All these things will come under the current liability. Whereas the contingent liability, this is very special actually. Guys, to be very frank with you, you don't have this for your syllabus. I'm just giving an extra note to understand what is contingent liability. Contingent liability is sometimes, for example, person A give loan to person B. Okay. So B has to give back to A, no, with interest. So he will deny, he will avoid, or he may take little more time. Can we consider that as a liability? No, because we are still not sure whether the person will give or not. Not confirmed. If he is not at all giving, then it becomes properly liability. If we are not sure about the person whether he gives or not, then what happens? It becomes contingent liability. Means to say, what could be that? Reserve for doubtful debts. Reserve for doubtful debts. You have given a debt to somebody, loan, capital, some borrowings you have made to somebody, but they are not giving. But they have not said that they will not give also. In India, you find most of the people like this. They will take, but when they are returning back, either they will not say that they will not give, neither they will give also. Like so many cases will happen, even especially for companies also this happens. So that is called as contingent liability. For time being, you don't worry about this. Just understand what is fixed liability and current liabilities. Okay. Understood what is liabilities? So three things: fixed liability, current liability and contingent liability. Now, why we need to know about assets and liabilities? The simple reason is the balance sheet. balance sheet. To know about the balance sheet. Guys, what is balance sheet now? Balancing something. Balance sheet is you are balancing or making the balancing of assets and liabilities of the company. If you do that, what is the usefulness of that? It is useful to know the performance of the company. See here, profit and loss account will give the profitability status of the company. Balance sheet will give the performance of the company. And ratios will give you the future prospects of the company. So here we are talking about balance sheet. So balance sheet consists of two things, that is, as I said, liabilities, assets. Just now I told you what are the different liabilities you have and what are the different assets you have. So all those things will be recorded. All those things will be recorded. Got it? So here we will match whether assets and liabilities are equal. 99.99% none of the company or business will have match. Assets and liabilities match. Okay? Either assets will be more. Where assets will be more? Where they are earning a lot of profit. Their profit growth is very much high. Because you know, the company makes profits. That is called profit motive. Then comes the profit maximization. How to maximize your profit. There it is not the end. After profit maximization, you have wealth maximization. So wealth maximization is also important here. So some companies will have the assets more and some companies will have the liabilities more. Where the liabilities will be more than the assets, where the company is not performing good, where they are undergoing with lot of losses. But whereas assets, where the assets is more than the liabilities, which means to say the company is performing very well, they are having a good profitability and they are making wealth maximization also. So this is why balance sheet has to be known. So this is the first financial statement. Now moving to the next one, that is two things I told you, and I also told you that is not same. Income and expenditure account, and then which one? Profit or loss account. So income and expenditure account or profit or loss account, both are not same, but both are almost same. I'll tell you how it is. Income and expenditure account is also done in the businesses. Profit and loss account is also done under the business. But there is one slight difference which you have to know. I will tell you. But before that, let us understand what is income and expenditure account. So as I said, income and expenditure account, every company will have incomes and every company will definitely have expenditure also. For example, if any business or a company is not earning income, they're not at all earning any income, it doesn't mean they are under loss. It might be a startup company also. Means they have still not reached the BEP. What is BEP? Break even point. What is break even point? Suppose I have invested 10,000 rupees to a business. Okay? Now, that is initial capital which I have invested. Now I should be knowing when will I get back that 10,000 rupees after starting the business. Maybe 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. That is break even point. The moment you get back your capital, that point is called as break even point. So after that what happens? Either you earn profit or loss. So here also is the same thing. Income is what comes in. That is coming inside the business. Income is what is coming inside. But expenses is what is going outside. Going outside. Where is it going? You are spending. That's all. You are making an expenditure. Maybe expenditure, paying salaries, paying wages, buying stationaries for office work. All these expenditure are called as expenditures which will come under the expenditure account. But is income where you receive some rent, you receive some dividend, you get some subscriptions, you get some fees. All these things will be recorded under the income. So this is income and expenditure account. This is income and expenditure account. Next is profit and loss account. So what do you mean by profit and loss account? The name itself is telling you whether your company is earning profits or whether your company is earning loss. To make sure this, we will do income and expenditure account first. This is the connection. When you do the income and expenditure account, you can ascertain the profit and loss account of a company. Got it? That is the difference what I said. Income and expenditure account to the profit and loss account. Got it? So this is not same, but with this you can make that. That is from income and expenditure account, you can make the end result is profit and loss account. So when you make an income and expenditure account, the end result is called as profit and loss account. Got it? So I hope you understood now. Okay. Next, going to the next part, that is, we have seen what is asset, we have seen what is liability, we have seen what is accounting standards, we have seen what is balance sheet, we have seen what is profit and loss account and income and expenditure account. Now, as I said, accounting concepts, now I will not touch, because accounting concepts, I told you, I have it in the PPT, because that is very, very important in this chapter. So I have made a PPT, there I will show you how the accounting concepts are taken care. Before that, I want to give you one small example, that is, there are two things, that is profit organization and not profit organization. Okay? Profit organization, non-profit organization. Is there any, you might have in the mind, is there any business which they don't want to make any profit? Yes, there are. There are. We call it as NPO. For example, for some clubs, some association, even hospital industry, even education industry are all comes under the NPO itself, non-profit organization. Whereas profit organization is any trading, manufacturing companies, any industries, any service-based industries other than hospital and hospital business and the educational business, it all comes here. So why I am telling you here is, we will look at three things here. I mean, the statements what we have to make. In profit account, that is profitable organization, we go for, first one is trading account. Trading account. Next one is, we will go for income and expenditure account, or we can directly go for, sometimes we can directly go for profit and loss account, but sometimes we have to do income and expenditure and then profit and loss account, and last is balance sheet. So these are the four statements which come under the profit organization. What does non-profit organization will come? For example, receipts and payments account. This is not profit oriented, this one. Next comes the income and expenditure account. And next and the last one is balance sheet. Okay, so this is how the statements, or this is how the different kind of financial statement which has been carried out in the profit organization and non-profit organization. All right. Now, one important thing before going to the concepts, that is, as I said, GST. What is GST? Goods and Service Tax. Goods and Service Tax. Before understanding GST, I'll give you a small example or a small instance to understand what is GST. Okay? We have something called as direct tax and indirect tax. What is direct tax and what is indirect tax? Direct tax is the taxes which has been paid by a person from his own hand or from his own pocket. It is voluntarily been made. Direct tax is voluntary payment. You have to make yourself. Indirect taxes, it is not like that. Even if you like it or not, you have already paid within the product when you have bought. So those are indirect taxes. Got it? Now, in this direct taxes, I'll give you some example. For example, income tax, very, very, very important. In India, majority of them don't pay income tax. Okay, income tax. Then comes the wealth tax. Wealth taxes, suppose you are having lot of, maybe shares or debentures or even physical assets like land, properties, buildings, apartments, etc. All comes under the wealth tax. Property tax. Property taxes, even if you have one house of your own, you have to pay some tax, some property tax. Very nominal, but still property tax. Gift tax. So you might have a question, sir, even for gift also we need to pay tax? Yes, not for everything, but there are. There are. For example, if you win a lottery, I think you all know this, Kaun Banega Crorepati, which was a big show in the Indian market. Yeah. If a person earns or if a person wins 1 crore rupees, he will not get the full 1 crore in cash in hand or cash at bank. There are some taxes which has to be paid. Like when you earn, when you win a lottery, when you win some competition, when you win some puzzle game, whatever the games are, like that, gift tax is also there. Indirect tax. Now, this is what we are talking here. GST comes under indirect tax. GST is coming under indirect tax. So, what is indirect tax? Indirect tax, okay, before GST what we had? I told you what is indirect tax. Before GST, what and all we had? We had sales tax, we had service tax, we had entertainment tax, and so on. Many things we had. To remove all these things, because sales was different, service was different, and entertainment tax was different, all this removing and having one platform that is called as GST, Goods and Service Tax, which is introduced in India. Before we had VAT, value added tax, and after value added tax we are now having GST. Got it? So GST is an indirect tax which has been applied for most of the goods and services. Petrol, diesel, I mean the oil, that is not coming under GST. Rest everything comes under GST. Alright. Now, in this is a very small topic, as I said. You need to understand what is GST and where does it come. And also, I'll just give you still more importance. That is, GST should have some percentages, no? Yes. It starts from 5%. Few products has 5%, 12%, 18%, and few are 28% also. These are the 4 slabs which we have. We call it as slab. You know, slab. 5% slab, 12% slab, 18% slab, and 28% slab. Why this has been made? How this has been made? I'll give you a simple logic. 5% means very less. This will come under the necessity or most essential products will come under the 5%. So 5% GST tax will come for necessity items, or we also call it as essentials. What do you mean by necessity or essentials? For example, groceries, like buying rice, wheat, jowar, maize, ragi for eating. Okay, so those are necessity or essentials where it is only for 5%. Then come little more, 12%. What can be the 12%? Little more essentials, like if you want to buy a tin product or tin canned products or stuffed products, something like that. It is more than the necessities. So comfortable products we can say. So for comfortable products it will be 12%. 18%, some like electronics, like your gadgets, mobile phone, laptop, a tab, or anything, even my specs, shirt, trousers, all these things will come under the 18% GST. There is 28% also, 28% for few costly items, like for example gold. It is not bought every day, like how you buy grocery, like how you buy comfortable goods, like how you buy electronics or something. You don't buy gold very often, and it is expensive product also, like golds and some of the investments, whatever the kinds of investments, these are called as the luxury goods or luxury items. Luxury goods or luxury items has been taken as 28%. So this is how the segregation, or we also call it as slabs of GST. Slab. See, even for direct tax also we have slab, and same wise even for indirect tax, that is GST, also we have slabs. So this is how the GST is being made. Alright. So goods and services service tax will happens to be like this. Understood what is GST now? I hope you understood. These are the things which you have in your chapter. Okay. Now, before going to the concept, as I said, concept I have kept little later, okay, because that I have it in slide. Now, the last topic before going to concept which I want to introduce and which you have in your book is books. Books. We have different kinds of books. What are the different kinds of books? I'll show it to you. You have cash book, sales book, purchase book, purchase returns book, and sales returns book. So these are the 5 important books which you have in your chapter or in the books of accounts. Got it? So I'll go one by one. So what do you mean by cash account or cash book? Cash book is a book. Say for example, there will be a book like this. Okay? Just I'm telling you how it will be recorded. So here, whatever you have paid, whatever you have received, whatever you have paid, whatever you have received, everything is entered, but only thing is you have to know is everything related to cash only, nothing else. If you have given in check, if you have made an account transfer, that is not considered here, only cash. So whatever the items where you have purchased, or whether if you have given to somebody, like you can give a salary or wages to your employees in cash only. Few companies do that. They give it in cash. So that is entered in the cash book. You might have a question. No. Okay, sir. Cash book records only the cash items. Okay. Few will get the cash, so it has been entered in the cash books. If they give in check, if the account transfer is done, then they will go for bank book. This does not come here. That's why I have not given this. Does not come here. But still, there is a separate called as bank book, where you record all the items which you have made a transaction over the bank with the help of the bank. So all those things comes under the bank book. Okay. Got it? What is cash book is? Okay, only the cash items which has been recorded in the business, let it be your spending or let it be whatever you have got. So all those things are cash items. Next comes the sales book. Sales is if you have sold any asset, if you have sold any products, if you have sold any current asset or non-current asset or fixed assets or whatever, everything will be anything if you have sold from your business. Suppose I want to sell, this is company's pen, I want to sell this. I've got some money. So this is written under sales book. I have made the sales on this date to this person for this amount. So this has been recorded here. Sales book. Purchase. Understood? Sales book. Purchase. The name itself is telling you. You will purchase raw materials for your industry or factory. You will purchase lot of tools, equipments, machineries, semi-finished goods, some finished goods also. You purchase many things. You purchase a light, you purchase a computer, you purchase board, you purchase pen. All these things will come under the purchase book. Let you do cash or let you do check or let you do whatever. If you have done a purchase, I have purchased this pen from this person or from this shop or from this retailer on this date and for this amount. So that has been recorded under the purchase book. Understood what is purchase book? Now, I'll make a small line here because this is little different. Not like this. Cash, sales and purchase is different. Purchase, it's all the books only, but it is little ulta. I'll tell you how it is. Now, you have made a purchase. Purchase return book is there. What is this purchase returns book? Okay, I'll give the same example which I took for purchase. I have purchased this pen from somebody. I have written that on that date, that also I have written, and for how much amount, that also I have written. Now, after I started using, I found that this was some defective, some defect, some problem which was there. So what should I do? Should I still use that? I have some warranty time or I have some time to give it back or send it to them, send it back to them? Yes. So that is recorded under the purchase return. So that is recorded under the purchase returns book. Last comes the sales returns book. Yes, even with the sales also it can happen. When you can buy the product and if there is any defect you can send it back, why not when you have sold that can happen to the same? I'll tell you. Now, this marker is my product, my pen, which I am selling it to somebody on this date for this much amount. They are using this pen for 1 or 2 days. I give them 1 week time. If there is any problem, they can return back to me. I have done the sales. I have sold this to some person. So he will be using. And if there is any defect, he will come back to me and say, sir, this is not genuine. It is having some problem. Then I should not be so, oh no, I don't know, I sold. I don't have to do anything. But because I have given time, I have given time of 1 week. Just giving example, warranty, you have 6 months, 1 year warranty. It is all about that. You cannot deny him. You have to receive and you should check your product whether yes, is there any defective or not. If there is defective, you have to repair and give it back to him. If there is no defective, if there is lot of defective, then you may have to replace it also. Or if you cannot replace nor repair, you have to give back the amount to that same person. So all these records will be recorded under the sales returns book. Understood? Cash book, sales book, purchase book. This is one side. Whatever the cash items which you do, which you spend, which you take, whatever in the business, all recorded on the cash. Only cash, not bank, because bank book is some different. If you pay somebody in check or if you receive check, if you transfer amount to somebody's account or somebody transfer to your account, all these things will come under the bank book. Okay, this is cash. Next is sales. Sales is whatever you have sold, you will record it here. Whatever you have purchased, you record in the purchase book. Whatever You have purchased and there is a defect, you have to give back. So that is purchase return. And whatever you have sold and there is a defect and it comes back, record in the sales returns book. Got it? So this is the simple logic of understanding different kinds of books. And this is what you have for your theory for your first chapter. Got it? I'll just conclude. Okay. Now, I hope you understood about accounting standards. Okay. Accounting standards is nothing but just a like how we have legally sections and subsections, even all of these, many of the statements will have their own standards to be followed. Next is you got to know what is income and expenditure account, and then profit and loss account, and then what does balance sheet actually has and how to do that. What is assets and liabilities? Okay, what is assets and liabilities? What is GST? Okay, and its percentages, its slabs, and where does it come? It comes under the indirect tax. And last, what you saw was the books. Books, which is maintained. Books which is maintained by the company. All those books, cash book, sales book, purchase return book, sales returns book, all these things will come here. Understood all these things? Alright. So these are the theory which you have for your first chapter. There is one more and little bigger also, but very important. That is very important, accounting concepts. There are, I think, 8 or 9 accounting concepts. We will see. Accounting, there are actually 12 and 13 concepts also, but for your syllabus they have only shrink to only few concepts. So what are accounting concepts? Why it is used? How it is used? Why do you have to study that? All these things will be looking forward now. Okay. So let's go with accounting concept, the last topic for this chapter, that is unit 1. All right. So let's go with that.